is MCI. Remember, for the new members, every Friday follow-up class, we do a count on our entries, exits, gains, unlost, and break even. Basically, right now, and this is a yearly calculation, which is based not in one single strategy, but in a collective knowledge. Guys, what is your count of win rate? Please let me know your count based on the classes right here. For the new members, understand that collectively we do much better, and this is a team effort. Let me know if you have your class win rate on hand. Here we go, fewer variants. Moving on, let's take a look at bringing or getting from the start. Guys, give me an asset and we'll drop on that. We'll drop all of the indicators on it. 85 to 90, as I remember. Great digital, love it. Thank you very much for that. Yes, yeah. Holy, if you don't know what we're talking about, go watch the video after this one because we basically nailed it there. Army Piper was talking about where he was going to enter. What was it? 56. Let's bring it up. 60. This is a different chart. I don't have it in hand, but let's take a look at here. It was, my bad. Let me just remove that one and unmark that one. Here we go. All habits, all habits. 50 coordinates, 52, 50. Here we go. 60. Look at that. The beautiful bottom right there. Come on, that was perfect. Nailed it. Nailed it. Nice. And Digital, thank you for that, brother. Thank you for that. Let's go over TQQQ. What time frame do you like to trade on that T-Money? Let me know. Oh, I see why. TQQQ, I suppose against NASDAQ, that's the one we have been looking for. Oh, we have, seems like we have a little bit of a, that beautiful going on. TP number 1 did not happen. TP number 2, we went all the way down. Remember, we have our stop to entry. So off we go. Perfect trade there. And then let's just remove everything and get started with the very beginning. I'm going to be changing. Perfect. Let's go over. Seems like we are on a range. Very nice range. Although, if we are very strict that, we might be breaking that one. And I'll be looking at this point for a flip of the even, like happened here, like happened here. But in this case, I will be looking for that around here. Basically going to a high confluence zone. I know we're just breaking through this high volume zone, which is an order block. It's a medium, but we have a very high right after a golden predictive range. It's kind of like a breaking through break walls, and then at last you find that you are not able to break and maybe going for that retest. Reading that on the 4-hour, we still got room to grow. What do you think, Piper? Perfect. Day, what is it? Day, team on daily or day trading? Let me know. Firefly, how to enable the golden predictive ranges. Firefly, very easy. You just go to your Market Dynamics Pro. Here we go. You can see that I turn them on and off. You go to settings and you just scroll down a little bit, and then under predictive ranges, just click enable. Just into perspective here, Piper loves their predictive ranges to be on daily, isn't it? 12 hours. My bad. 12 hour. Perfect. Yes. And I myself like to have it in chart. Just so you know, I know it wasn't 4 hour, but again, I usually look at 4 hours. I keep mine on chart because remember, this is multi-time frame. Like for example, if I have it just like Piper has it, let's do, what is it? 12 hour. What is it? 12 hour here. And then I go to the 4 hour. My predictive ranges are going to be drawn based on the 12-hour time frame. Therefore, remember, this is huge. This is very powerful because you're using higher time frames to predict where the big resistance, big predicting to be shown in here. I don't see the 12 hours. Here you go. Look at that. Let me just clean up here a couple of stuff. You can see there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There you go. Anytime, brother. Let's see, T-Money. I was hoping for a drop on CPI. Well, I mean, love it. Let's take a look at. So be careful there, guys. Let's see now. Let's move into removing everything. We can add them individually and firsthand. Again, we're gonna be into TQQQ. Here we go. Let's add it back, and I'm gonna be closing everything. I'm gonna be moving fast, guys, because it's already for me 11:30. We only have 30 minutes. Bear with me, please, guys. Interrupt me if you have any questions. Just let me know right here on my side. If you want me to make a pause, I'll try to make as fast as I can. We only have 30 minutes to go. Let's move it. Once again, T-Money time frame. Daily, 4 hours, 2 hours, 30 minutes. 4 hours, perfect. Let's do that one. Great, love the 4 hours. Perfect. We're gonna be getting started by adding our indicators. We need to understand that they are inside the indicator, and then you need to have invite on the script. Don't worry, I have many indicators here, which are the indicators that you have, but one by one. Piper and I are the test subjects of using these indicators. That's why we have early access of pieces of those indicators as they got developed. Don't worry about those. Worry about the ones that you get, because those are the latest versions that are not bugging, or they are basically already, we've been breaking them, and then the devs are rebuilding them. Let's add market oracle. Let's add market dynamics, and let's add a dynamic reactor. Let's see, where is it? Dynamic reactor. Prime Oscillator Pro. Here we go. Not Dynamic, Prime Oscillator Pro. The first thing I'm going to be doing is shutting everything down and explaining to you guys that we have two sets of indicators, two kinds of indicators. We have predictive and reactive, all right? Predictive indicators are using learned data from past reactions to regenerate, or let's call it educated guess into the future, all right? They're trying to predict the outcome based on previous learned data. This is huge, guys, but remember the accuracy might be shifting a little bit depending on your settings, especially on the predictive indicators, all right? Then we have reactive indicators. What is a reactive indicators? It could be like a support and resistance. Like, for example, we can see one support and resistance here, and we can see that we've been basically breaking through support, resistance, back at resistance. Therefore, we could be expecting, based on previous reaction, that this could be a resistance. That is for reactive indicator. The first thing I'm going to be doing is adding my indicators here. First of all, I want to understand whether I'm bullish or bearish, and the first thing I want to look at, it is the trend. Based on the trend, I could be starting making decisions. First thing I'm going to be turning on, it's my reactor. I like a dynamic reactor. Usually when I'm live trading, I use both of them, but you can be choosing between both dynamic or volume flex. Difference between dynamic reactor is a high volume, and volume flex, it's slightly different calculated, but it reacts to volume spikes. That is basically it. The dynamic reactor, and click OK. At this point, I'm not worrying for basically anything. Here, I'm gonna be turning this one off just for now. And one more thing, my dashboard, optimal tuning should be on at this point, because I will be turning it off, just, prime score and score. Then the position of my dashboard, I like it to be auto here, and then middle bottom here. Oh, middle, what is it? Or bottom middle center. Here we go. Because I usually do TikTok, I just grown to used to see it not there. Come on, at the bottom middle. Here we go. Now we're talking. Apologies. What is it? Pups. It's for peep. It's for forex. Apologies. Oh yeah, perfect. Now I'm gonna be start analyzing the charts. The first thing that I want to go is for a very obvious zone where I can see very clearly an uptrend, a downtrend, and if possible, ranging zones. This section looks very nice for that analysis. And I can see another uptrend in here. Now, let's take a look at interesting. As I break above the dynamic reactor, usually I stay above, and every pullback to that high volume will be a rejection. It takes usually a little while for me to break through, and once I break through, it is not about the breakout, it is about the retest. Look at that. Where is it? It is not about, oh, we did not type it here. Profits, we need to set it out. It is not about the breakout, it is about the retest. Pretty odd. Probably just hitting around there. This is important, guys, because we usually wait for that retest to happen. Let's go over here to QQQ, and as you can see, that retest play out perfectly. Doesn't always happen, but it just happens often. That is worth giving it a try. This retest and rejection confirm a change or shift of trend. All right, any questions so far? Let me know, guys. Rigi, what's up? Not all good? Oh, perfect, perfect. But guys, again, if you have any question, please do not be shy. I'm here to any and all of your questions. Every question is important and is worth giving it an answer. Again, don't be shy. Let me know if you have any questions. Wait for Solana retest. I don't know. I haven't looked at Solana. Right now, I don't remember the previous analysis. But if it broke through and used the resistance, you could. Again, not financial advice. Now that we can understand the dynamic reactor, it's a very nice trend to say the least. We can identify continuation flat zones. Here we go. These ones are just pause on the market. If you are not familiarized with this, which higher highs, higher lows, lower highs, lower lows, basically go check out or read the Wyckoff method. Is gonna bring you another perspectives on the market. Let me clear this up. And now the next step I'm gonna be doing is adding my trend mode. At this point, I want to see what is my optimal tuning. As you can see, this is very noisy. And my optimal tuning is telling me 19. What do I have here? I have 14. Let's get started by adding a 19 here. Now that I have replicated this setting, I don't need it anymore. Let's move it out of the way here because now it's just wasting space on my chart. Again, it made a good call, although it's still a little bit messy. Let me talk about the wave pattern. Let's just remember how a wave length looks like. Basically, light, electromagnet, whatever kind of wave, usually it's charted like this. And we'll see this happening over and over with a center line. What is a whole cycle? A whole cycle starts here and ends up here. And this is on an oscilloscope. But on trading, we usually try to shift back or shift forward this kind of movements and get half of a cycle, all right? Half of a cycle. Why? Because remember, if we start here and we end up here, if I move this a little bit downwards and this one a little bit downwards, a full cycle will be bottom to bottom or top to top. If we divide of a half of a cycle will be a top to bottom. This is usually what we call ranging. Look at that. Beautiful wave patterns. But what happens when we have interference on the noise? What happens when we have interference on the light? Or when we have interference? We're going to be having a very juggling kind of like a wave pattern. Still resembles a wave pattern, and we can duplicate it. But you see, we have flat like this ones. We have bottom ones again, like for example, like that. And again, we can be seeing the same pattern. What we have on the markets, we have a ton of noise or interference. Therefore, we need to start using an indicator to start removing that interference. Guys, just like in nature, because at the end of it all, this is charting what people are buying and selling. Institutions, people, after all, they're behind the computer clicking it or making those decisions, besides bots, which are configured by people. We need to understand that we're going to have interference one way to another, and that interference will be unavoidable. It will be still there. But we can configure this to give you the least amount of interference. Again, at this point, interference is not bad. It's just going to only kind of like add that extra hard or extra, I don't know, noise in the chart. Chart Prime makes analyzing a lot easier. Yes, it does. Let's take a look at the way that we can take out interference. Let's remember that since we broke above, all the way to maybe here, which is a flat zone, or maybe here, which is a flat zone, but I would rather call it all the way up here. This for me will be either 1, 2, or 3 uptrends with pauses in the market, or a huge uptrend. This is where your style comes in. What would you like to do? All right. What does it works for you the best? Huge trends or smaller pieces of trend where you trends where you can either reaccumulate or redistribute your portfolio. All right, whatever makes the easiest way for you. And then going to the opposite zone, well, I can do the same thing. Maybe I like this strong downtrend and maybe all the way till I break back above around here or here. Now I have divided, so I want a buy signal around here, maybe a sell signal around here, and another buy signal around here. Again, you can have extra 2 ones in here depending on what you're looking for. How do you do that? Well, then you debug this by inputting a fine tuning here. My advice, it's rounding to the closest zero number or the closest round number. In this case, 19, it's closer to 20 than is it closer to 10. I'm gonna be rounding this up to 20, clicking OK and waiting for that little eye to stop moving. I'm gonna be clicking OK, and we're gonna see that just from the get-go, this got a ton better. Still not what I'm looking for. The easy way for me, it's going to be to start increasing this in 10 increments on 20, 30. Let's just see for that 30. I already know basically what is my preferred or where does my preferred tuning hovers around, which is around 40 and 50. But that is my way of trading. As you can see now, if I clear this up, you can see I have much less interference and I'm going on my way to build up healthy, long-lasting trends. Let's just give it a push in here. Let's go to 50. I think that will be a good starting point. And then if it's just overkill, I just go to 40, 45. And then if it's not that good, I just go to 60 or 70. It seems like it still can do a little bit better here, a little bit better here. Still, remember that right now I have achieved what I was talking about in the beginning. As I break above, going for that retest, and now if I go until I find that ranging zone, confirming until I find that ranging zone, confirming until I find that ranging zone, and a little bit of interference, ranging zone, and that is basically it. This is looking way better, and I will be happy to stop here. Why? Because I could be adding a little bit more things to this that helps me understand whether am I in a distribution or redistribution or accumulation phase. So you can see, look at that. Yes, it's slightly going down, but this is looking like either a bull flag or a zone, just like this. Try this here. You can see how is it building up. Well then, let's just try to refine it a little bit more, just so you can see it. Let me push it to 70 here, just for that example. Again, you need to spend the time here. And I get many questions around, should I be doing this with every asset? No. This is basically once their asset groups. Like for example, if I'm trading Bitcoin, I already have my preset, which is 43. And usually that 43 works for most of the crypto. When I'm talking about very low cap crypto, well then I adjust a little bit more. When I'm talking about Forex, I usually hover over around 55, 60. And most of the same relative coins, for example, I configure for Euro USD. Maybe USD, JPY works the same. Maybe USD, I don't know, franc Swiss works the same. But when I'm talking about, for example, like franc Swiss and then a Yen, you know, like that could be a little bit of a different configuration, but usually not that far off because they are kind of like the same species, if I can call it that way. Will that be addressing, guys, for you this if you needed to change every single time you're tuning? Let me know if I explained that well enough. Going to 70, seems like we've been reaching almost the limit in here. I will rather or hesitate a little bit more to increase it. Why? Yes, I have a beautiful trend in here, but as you can see, I mean, this entry, what it is already a little bit too late because I'm trying to pair it with the dynamic reactor. And why am I trying to pair it? Because look at that. Remember what we just had. It is not about the breakout. It's about the retest. What happened here? It is not about the breakout, guys. It is about the what. And off we go. My bull run should it have started a little bit early. I mean, I would not be complaining to start a little bit late with a retest or pullback if I can catch the most of that movement. Nonetheless, not with me and my own style. I'd rather have a little bit more interference and debug it using else like Trend Sniper or maybe the mats or maybe Ribbon and N or maybe I could be using Fibonacci levels. And if you have not heard about the Fibos, go watch Army Piper on his class because he is a master of Fibos, especially Fibo extensions. Those are amazing. Let me just move it here out of the way, and I'm gonna be sticking to, I believe it's like 60. Looked great for me, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Waiting for that one to stop moving around, and here we go. Yep, a little bit earlier. Just color up at 50. That will be it. Hey, yes, look at that. Fibonacci explained. Love it. That is a golden ratio. Love it, love it. Study that in college. Love it. Now you can see that I have mostly very precise movements here. It's not about the breakout, it's about the retest, micro retest, and off I go. It's not about the breakout, it's about the retest by double top and off I go. Retest, off I go. Retest, well then I will be hesitating because I have a sell. Guys, especially veterans, help me out here. Do we enter on a sell signal or do we enter on a buy signal? And Batman, what's up, buddy? Rigi, what is up, buddy? Hell no, exactly. We usually do not enter on right on that signal. Why? There's something happening on these signals that you can look for this. Remember, it's not about the breakout, but look at where you have that signal. It's about the retest or pullback. Beautiful, and you enter for a better positioning. Again, it is not about the breakout. It did not break out, but we have a sell signal. We're waiting for the pullback. You could have waited here or here. How would you, hell no, how do you define how up or how much of a pullback, how much downside would you take a look at it here? And for that, we have a special tool. It's not actually designed for that, but it just works good for it, which is my Prime Train Assistant. Let me click on that one and let's see the results in here. It is giving you a way to look for those pullbacks. Let's see this pullback here. Let me clear this up and look at that. Is that perfect or what? Right? Again, is this perfect or what for that pullback? Is this perfect or what? Right? I mean, very close, very close. Look at it going up, pullback, almost there, almost. This one wasn't perfect. This one wasn't perfect, all right? I mean, but that was a very neat one. It just happens so often that we go for that. So you're gonna have an uptrend like that, and you feel like you have been left out. And remember, you do not jump out of the tree to go chase the deer with your gun in your hands. That is not only dangerous, that is, I mean, you might be missing for a lot. What has happened? Since we talked about TQQQ, I just want to give a quick start on wheel strategy on QQQ. I'm talking about I am Batman's commentary here. I'm reading here. If you do monthly for the past 10 years with 80 delta, you only get assisted 11 times from 120. Let's take a look at that. What are we talking about that? Let's open it in a new tab. Let's put it here. This is what is it? And Batman is sharing the wheel strategy. Oh, I see. Yeah, that is that is a strategy too. That's a very interesting strategy. Let's go over to the next indicator here. Yeah, I do remember the wheel strategy, which is for, if I'm not mistaken, it's very well known by options traders, isn't it? Yeah, it's basically kind of like an. And I usually talked about that strategy. I don't call it wheel strategy, but like when you get the contracts, make sure you get those contracts that you get assign it the assets to you. That way, if you're running out of puts or calls or the contract gets expired, you don't just lose everything, but at least you get whatever you're willing to hold and going forth. But yeah, perfect, nice call there. So coming back into this one, now you can see where you can start jumping in when you have a sell or buy signal. All right, don't rush it. Remember, trust your indicators, trust your configuration, trust the time that you put behind your own training, knowledge, and patience. Here we go. Let's just wrap this one up with the oscillator. There's a ton to talk about the oscillator. There's one, maybe one of the most feature-backed indicators. It is, once you understand it, it's very easy to use and very, very powerful. Let's just do a quick review. But for this one, guys, you will need to go and watch the pre-recorded classes. Class recordings, hashtag class recordings. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys here. Class recordings. I advise watching class number one, guys. I know it's a little bit outdated. Nonetheless, that is the class where I give you the most amount of the tips and tricks that they are still applying to the market today and to the updated oscillator. Go watch that one. Remember class number one, and then I advise you go watch class number two for the updated versions. Nonetheless, I still believe class number one, it is the tippy top one to watch there. Let's turn it on and let's see what it looks here. It looks very simple with a ton of lines, but I'm gonna be doing here. I'm gonna be zooming in, and for me, I like to use a squeeze momentum. If you are following Piper and I into the OP, you'll recall that I use, here we go, the squeeze momentum indicator. And I was calling for a chain link divergence. Remember that? If I was looking at this and then at this one, well, you can see a divergence there. But as you can see, this divergence was confirmed around here. Meanwhile, our indicator confirms it here. And you can compare this too because basically this could be the same squeeze momentum, instead plotted onto a line here. The data and the mathematical composition behind this has been changed, and it is being affected by the momentum that the meter ribbon plots. Basically, it's codependent on that momentum, therefore giving you much more precise squeezes and way better divergences detection, early divergence detection. Let's, because I like those clouds, let's add them. I'm gonna be going over the settings here, and I'm gonna be adding, here we go, bands. I call them clouds. Here they are labeled as bands. Let's just wait for that little to stop moving, and that, there we go. As long as we are on the green cloud, we are expecting the next movement to be fairly bullish. What's up, Piper? Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I agree on that. Let me show you important guys here. Let me zoom in here, and remember, this could be showing you, this is showing you squeeze momentum, right? This is another way to look at squeeze momentum. But since we broke into the green on the cloud, let's mark when we broke into the green on the cloud. Here we broke, and then we are still within the green of the cloud with a flat momentum, right? This ribbon is showing you momentum. What's happening from here to here? The expected movement, because it was on the green, it was bullish. Let me just, guys, one sec. So now that you can see this, that we are using this one, look at this other options. We broke below into the red cloud. Look at where that squeeze actually played out. You need to start pairing this with, very important, where the momentum is at. Let me show you another way to look at this. And let's add something else that I like to do on the oscillator. Let me clear this icon here, and let's go over style. I'm gonna drop down until I see, where is it? A little bit lower. Here we go. Zero line. This is the important one for me. I'm gonna be putting it on white and pumping up this line. Just because I don't have it, I'm gonna be adding bullish control line at bullish for green and leave it as is. The only thing I'm gonna be putting here is negative 95, just to give me a channel. And red in this one, leave it as is, and positive 95 here. Let me do it here, 95. Those lines, especially, oh, this one, zero line, needs to be a line. Here we go, and I'll be making it thicker. Here we go, click OK, and you'll see a thicker line here. Just like your speedometer on your car, you need two things to tell the speed. You need the needle moving, and you need the numbers behind the needle. You know exactly what speed you're going, because if you're missing one of those, yes, you can see that the speedometer is moving, and of course you can feel it, you can see it, you know, like you're your car, you're pressing the gas, you are moving. But how fast are you going? Unknown, all right? Therefore, you need the back numeric values to tell you, yes, I'm moving, but I don't know how fast. The other way around works, or the same analogy. You don't have the needle moving, but you still have the numeric values. How can you tell how fast are you moving? This is the way that the dynamic, the oscillator, the meter ribbon, and the zero line work together. The zero line is a consensus. It's not telling you anything itself, but it's giving you a point of vertex between do we have enough momentum or we do not have enough momentum. Therefore, my brain, and this is just the way that I look for, my brain prefers to or gets easier on looking for empty space. But what is actually looking for, what I'm actually looking for, it's where the oscillator is hovering over. Guys, from this line to this line, where is the middle ribbon hovering? Is it above or below the zero line? Let me know. Above, perfect, above. And as you can see, now we're comparing momentum to the zero line. Is it hovering above? What we call this, we call that we have enough momentum to keep breaking stuff to the upside. What happened to the price action? Look at that beautiful movement. Let's look at the opposite. In here, we have 1 and 2 spikes, but where is most of the action happening? Is it above or below the zero line? Even here, I will call it here. Below, yes, below. And look at that, same spike up and same spike down, which lets you know that we're getting started into a range. But is the most amount of the oscillator hovering below, down? Exactly. What's happening to the price? And I could keep doing this over and over all day long. Look at that beautiful movement. Look at this beautiful movement. Yeah, we could be doing this all day long, nonstop. So let's clean this up and let me show you that it's happening right away. This is a tricky question, guys. From here to right now, where is most of the action happening? Guys, this is the important of the class right here, because we do not just leave you just with the concepts. We try to get you into a pickle, into a trouble, because you are going to be confronting the market at some point by yourself. And you need to understand, especially the hard market conditions. Piper says, Bitcoin will never recover from this crash. Yeah, love it. Upside below. T-Money, you're right. Brownie, you're right, guys. Why? Look at that. Big spike. And this spike, I would compare it the same size, or almost the same size as this one. The second, which is this one, let's call this one 1 and 2. 2, it's slightly bigger. But again, look at that. Just like number 1. And then just like number 2. It seems we have an equilibrium slightly tilted to the downside. Would you agree on that? Let me know. Exactly. Shout out to One Way. Brother, nailed it. Yeah. If we have an equilibrium slightly weighted to the downside, well, we are waiting for a range until outstanding happens. And that is happening right now, guys. Let me show you how to look. Remember, at this point, we're going from the macro movements to the detail. That is the key, guys. That is key. Going from the macro movements to the detail. Breakout. Yes, and let me do this. This is one of the free indicators. We have our own, which works better. But let's take a look at this one. I'm going to be clicking here to here, and I don't care where I click. It doesn't matter. Even it doesn't matter where I click at the beginning. Just so you know, it's the second bottom here, and it's a regression trend. Basically whatever I want to, and then again, whatever I want to. I'm just going to move it and click it whatever it just gets, all right? It doesn't matter, because as I move forward, downwards, this is going to be adjusting itself. But let me just go slightly below or before. And this is happening. Let me clean this up and add here. So I'm going to go from this height to this height. This is a range. Does that make sense? What's happening to the range? It is not about the breakout, guys. What is it about? The retest. And then outstanding, it's happening. Look at this. We're going up and down almost perfectly. Up and down almost perfectly with a little hump. What happened with that hump? We have a kind of like a pullback. And now, are we going up or down? Or what's happening with this hump? Look at that. It started lower. It went higher. And now, One Way, brother, I love it. Shout out for you. I won't read it, but I need to shout it out. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, guys, going back to this one, what's happening with that little wrinkle on the momentum? It's going higher, isn't it? You see that wrinkle going higher? Yes, which is indicating me that I could have either a flat spot within, what is it, the cloud? It's a cloud green. As long as I'm on green, I could be looking for the next movement to the upside. Let's wrap it up, guys, with another point of view here. There's very important in here. Guys, can anybody tell me what is one of the basic things on trading? I'm not talking about chart prime. I'm talking about what is the first thing that you learn when you start diving into trading? Risk management. Yes, but what before that? I mean, I do agree with that, and that is a huge anchor point. Shout out for you, Digital. Cut loss. I will relate that one to the risk management, which I said yes to it. But before you enter a trade, I mean, before you can cut the loss, how do you enter a trade? What do you learn to start entering trades? Always have a plan B. Pray, 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 pray. I think it might be a little bit of a widespread question, right? I mean, I might be pushing it to the limit here, but I would call for support resistances and trends. Would you guys agree on that? Let me know. And again, guys, I'm trying to get you to talking here because you're earning points. I don't care if you're right, wrong. There is no wrong question, right? I just want you guys to yeah, there you go, to avalanche me here with any kind of answers. There you go. I talk a little perfect, brother. You're gonna get a ton of points then. Take advantage of that. Understand level, support, resistance. Exactly, Rainbow Rider. Yes. The trend is your friend. Yes, until the end. Perfect. Yes. What is my point? Where is my point? Oh, as much as you keep talking, you're gonna have a bot telling you, hey, you just went up in level 12 or level whatever. And then you'll be entering points on that. Exactly, points make prices. Exactly, not losing. I love that one, Brownie. Not losing. Let's take a look at what not losing means. Not losing, remember, what is it? It's all the way here. Not losing, which is all of this. Perfect. Great call there, Brownie. Love it. I will restrict myself right now at support, resistance, and trends. Basically, we already have taken the analogy and understanding the trend. Trend checked. Move on. What else? What is next? Support, resistance. If I want to add support resistance, I need to add Market Dynamics Pro. Why? Because it's going to give you an automated support resistance based on one multi-time frame system. That is, again, amazing. So let's go over inputs here. I'm going to be turning everything off because I don't want to overcomplicate stuff. And I'm just going to be focusing right here. I'm going to be adding lines. It's going to be what, instead of disable, I'm going to be a local chart, which means whatever time frame I'm in, and up to 5 lines. I usually start with 4. Then I'm going to be adding middle mode, which is higher or a bigger zone of local chart, again, whatever I'm looking at. Oh, come on. And that's it. Chart, and that will be it. Let's add 3 of those. And finally, I'm going to be adding local, but instead of the chart, I want to look at daily support resistances. Let's add 1 day. 1 day. Here we go. And up to 5. The only thing I'm going to be changing, just for preference, is this one to purple. And I'm going to click OK and turning it on. Here we go. Look at that. Beautiful support resistance. Here's that I want to give you the heads up on this one. Do not encase yourself on single lines in here. Remember, a support resistance is set by a multiple touches on those lines or that zones. And that is the key, zone. I will be looking at this one as channels. Look at, for example, these two. They are tied together that I will not be considered this a channel, but a kind of like a very high resistance zone. Or in this case, right now, as a very, very high support. I don't want to go down there, but if we start moving downwards, I know where the strongest support resistance is. To the upside. Let's take a look at here. Number 2, and again, number 2, they are very tied together, both of those, and I can see it right there. I have another here, which is encasing me into this ranging, just like before, right? I could be encased within a range. Exactly. Support and resistance are zones, and there's Piper. Love it. This is how you start predicting your entries, guys. Let's take a look at this very, very nice example. Look at that. We are on, let me move that one out of the way. We can see here we are OS for golden box means that we are not that we are completely, but we are within this channel in here. When do you get the OS text is when we're breaking out of that channel. Pay a ton of attention. We have a hidden Behind this, we have a hidden, here we go, not anymore hidden, a triangle, reversal triangle, just like in here. Let's make it smaller again. And we could be adding a much more stuff in here. Like for example, I could be adding, let me see, maybe 5 and 4. Yeah, I think that will be good. And we could be adding like our ranging analogy. Remember, trends. What is the trend? The trend is your friend until the end. Perfect. What else could we be looking for? Maybe else like predictive ranges. Remember what I call about prediction? Well, then this is an amazing tool to start looking at. So, do you use the momentum dots much? Lord knows I do. Perfect. He does. Love it. Now, we could be looking for what? What else? Maybe I'm looking for a support. I got my support. I'm looking for reversals. Look at what else I have. I have a bullish. I have a confirmed bounce around here, confirmation of the bounce, and then going all the way up till where? Just around here. Where did I start getting reversal cells? And at daily resistance. This is a great TP1. Now we punch or broke through that zero line. It is not about the breakout. Maybe we need to go for that retest. And if we hover above the zero line, you guys know what's coming. Again, we need to be very patient and keep an eye on what might be happening here. Now can you see how everything starts falling together? Let me know if you have any questions. And if not, we're going to be wrapping the class up. E-Money, what's up, brother? I really appreciate you. I really appreciate you, brother. Look at that. I'm Batman. Nice. Not about a breakout, it's about a retest. Love it. Guys, this is perfect. This is an official wrap. Exactly. Guys, let's go here and standalone. Guys, this is only the surface that we are scratching. We have a ton more of things. Let me give you one final, not financial advice, which is only a friendly advice. I usually duplicate my indicators. Like for example, I will have 2 or 3 market dynamics, each one containing just 1 or 2 different tools within them. All right, use them to your knowledge or to advantage. So turn on one, make your analysis, turn it off, turn on the second one, make your analysis, and compare confluence. All right, remember confluence, 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 guys. That is the name of the game. So guys, without further ado, thank you so much for being here, guys. You guys are the most important part of this class. Remember that we together collectively make a much better work, much better results, and by the power of community, we'll build up to the top. Guys, thank you so much, because without you guys, this will not be possible. And as always, stay prime and see you guys tomorrow.